Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Real Life Revelation with Rose. Today, I want to talk about something that has been on my mind a lot lately. It's a topic that I believe affects many women, particularly women who were raised to be responsible, caring, accommodating, and considerate of others. What I want to explore today is something often called good girl conditioning, which we have spoken about in my short videos. Now, before we begin, I want to be very clear. This isn't about blaming our parents. It's not about blaming culture. It's not about saying kindness is a bad thing. Many of the values we were taught are beautiful. They're very cherished values. The question is, what happens when being good becomes more important than being authentic? What happens when our self worth becomes tied to keeping everyone else happy? And what happens when we spend so many years looking after everyone else that we lose touch with ourselves? If any of that resonates with you, then stay with me. Okay, let's talk about it. So, what is good girl conditioning? When I say good girl conditioning, what do I actually mean by it? For many women, being a good girl meant being polite, being respectful, being helpful, being responsible, not causing problems, not talking back, or maybe putting others first. There could be many other ways that you could describe as being a good girl, and none of those things are actually bad. In fact, many of them are actually wonderful qualities because they show that you're a good human being and you care for others. The problem begins when those qualities stop being choices and becomes expectations. When your value becomes connected to how helpful you are and how accommodating you are, how much you sacrifice, how little inconvenience you cause, because then something subtle happens and you stop asking, what do I need? And start asking more of what will keep everyone else happy. And over time, that becomes your identity. That is what we call a good girl conditioning. And it shows up in our adulthood. And this is a pattern that doesn't disappear as we become adults. They simply show up in different ways. For example, many women struggle to say no. Not just women, I think. There are many people struggle to say no, not because they don't know how to, but because saying no feels uncomfortable. Many women, and this especially women, struggle to rest. Not because they're incapable of resting, but because resting feels undeserved. Many women struggle with boundaries. Think about it. Not because they don't understand boundaries, but because boundaries can trigger guilt. I'm sure you can relate to it. This is where so many women become exhausted because they're constantly managing everyone else's comfort while neglecting their own. And eventually, obviously, that takes a toll emotionally, mentally, and sometimes physically as well. You will feel very exhausted. Your physical, your body, your mindset, everything will show, will reflect that in over time. And one of the biggest consequences of good girl conditioning is the need of approval. And honestly, I think many of us don't even realize how much approval influences our decision. And think about it. Do think about it. Because we want people to understand us, we want people to agree with us, we want people to approve of our choices. And when they don't, we start questioning ourselves. We over explain, we kind of question ourselves and defend, we justify, we seek reassurance from others because somewhere along the way, approval becomes linked to emotional safety. And that's part of us being conditioned the way we think. If people were happy with us, we felt secured. If people were disappointed with us, we felt uncomfortable. And that pattern can stay with us for years, sometimes even decades, sometimes even lifetime. This is where this good conditioning plays a big role in the adulthood. And the responsible woman is the another thing that I want to talk about is that the role that we become as the responsible one, the dependable one, the strong one, the one everyone turns to. And believe me, I get it because I am one of those and I made myself one of those. At first, this feels like a compliment, and often it is. And I do take it like a compliment sometimes, most of the time. But there can be a hidden cost because when everyone sees you as strong, they stop asking if you are tired. When everyone sees you as capable, they stop checking if you are struggling. And sometimes you stop checking too. You become so used to carrying everything, and that like it starts to feel normal. But remember, heavy is still heavy. Even when you've been carrying it for years, it's still heavy. The other thing that I've noticed is how many women feel guilty when they finally start to prioritize themselves. Have you ever noticed that? Because I have. Because you finally set a boundary and feel guilty. You take time for yourself, you feel guilty. You say no, you feel guilty. And remember, when I'm saying this, I know because I've been through all of this. You decided not to explain yourself, you feel guilty. And very often, women assume that guilt means they've done something wrong. Again, believe it. I'm saying this because I have been through this. But remember, it's not always true. Sometimes guilt simply means that you're doing something unfamiliar, something that you're not used to of doing. And if you've spent years putting everyone else first, choosing yourself can feel uncomfortable. Believe me, it can. Not because you're selfish, it's only because it's new. The more you'll do it, the more easier and less guilt free it will become. And trust me, there is a big difference in new versus guilty. So, who are you without all those roles that we've just described? This is probably the most important question of all. Who are you when nobody needs anything from you? Not your job, not your responsibilities, not your titles, not your family role, not your achievements, and what else can we think? It's just you. What do you enjoy? What excites you? What matters to you? It's you, okay? What do you want? I think many women reach a point in life where they realize they've spent years becoming what everyone else needed. And now they're trying to discover who they are beneath all those expectations, layers, responsibilities, roles. And honestly, that's not a crisis. That's an awakening. And we all need that. Let's talk about now what healing actually looks like. Healing isn't becoming selfish. Healing isn't rejecting everyone around you. Healing isn't becoming hard. And trust me, healing is learning to include yourself in the care you give to others. It's learning that your needs matter too. It's trusting yourself. It's setting boundaries without apologizing for existing, which we have done many of times. It's resting without earning it. It's understanding that your worth doesn't come from how much you sacrifice. And perhaps most importantly, it's learning that you can be kind without abandoning yourself. And trust me, it can be done because I have done it this over the year, slowly, but I have done it. So you can do it as well. If there is one thing I hope that you all take away from this conversation, it's this: you don't have to stop being caring. You don't have to stop being loving. You don't have to stop being compassionate, but you also don't have to disappear in the process. Just repeat that again and watch it again because you matter too. And perhaps this whole journey isn't about become less of a good girl, and perhaps it's more about becoming more of yourself. Thank you so much for spending entire this time with me. I'm actually on my holiday and I took some time out because I really wanted to get this done. And if this conversation resonated with you, I would love to hear your thought in the comments. What part of this entire topic spoke to you the most? And if you would like more conversation around this psychology, well-being, emotional well-being, identity, and personal growth, I would love for you to subscribe and join me here on Real Life Revelations with Rose. And I will be posting more real life conversation like this where I'm just kind of sharing my thoughts with you. Until next time, take care of yourself. Remember, your need matter too.